This is LBC News.
There was another major global online outage last night. Things are back up and running. Websites for Heathrow, NatWest and Minecraft were affected. So too the Scottish Parliament electronic voting system. That was affected as well. It's all linked to Microsoft. The tech giant says problems with its Azure cloud platform caused widespread disruption, affecting services including Outlook. Head of Public Sector at Checkpoint is Graham Stewart, and he earlier told me what happened.
It appears to be a technical fault that's happened in something called Microsoft Azure. And Microsoft Azure is one of these things on the internet that 99.999% of people have never heard of, but it is basically what underpins most of the applications and most of the websites on the internet. These and a number of other organizations like AWS. And there appears to be a problem. What it means is it makes the website inaccessible. So when you go to use the service, it just appears not to be there. There's something called DNS, and that effectively is like the map of the internet, and in this case the map of Microsoft Azure, so all of the websites, all of the applications that run on this platform. And it looks like they've updated the map, and there's been a problem with that update. So you can imagine, like, you've updated the map on your sat nav and it can't read the map all of a sudden, and that's basically what's happened here.
Yeah, this happened the other week with Amazon.
Exactly, and AWS, and there's so many of of our digital world, so much of our digital world that sits on these platforms now. A technical hitch like this suddenly affects everybody. It affects banking, it affects public sector, it affects all kinds of different sort of sectors, and possibly even, you know, whole countrywide, where you've got so the Scottish Parliament looks like they've been affected as well. They've had to hold off on a vote because that sits on Azure. So it kind of ripples out across the internet, and it causes all kinds of problems, but it just illustrates the kind of fragility of our digital world now.
Well, you said hours. Hours is still time. It's affected, as you say, the Scottish Parliament. I get the impression that we're over-reliant on few cloud providers, but the problem is, now I'm a layman, right? So you might be able to help me with this.
Yep.
But I use cloud for backups, but if you're going to switch from one thing to another, sometimes they're not always very compatible. They don't talk to each other. They're competitors, after all.
They are, and so the advice that we would always give from a technology point of view is you need to make sure you've got backups, you need to make sure you've got redundancy, so you copying your photos onto the cloud to back them up so they're not just on your phone or not just on your laptop. That's a really wise thing to do. What's happened here in reverse is that the applications that are running, the apps that are running, aren't actually available outside of, in this case, Azure, and it means that it's suddenly not available. So you're quite right. There needs to, and people need to be thinking from a technology standpoint about potentially, you know, betting on multiple horses here and moving their data into different areas, because the effect is absolutely huge. And our lives are so digital now. Something like this can have a huge impact. As you say, you know, only hours could be worth millions and millions of pounds in terms of business lost. The advice I always give in a situation like this is you now need to be vigilant, because what's going to happen is that the scammers, the people that do these hacks that you hear about on the news all the whole time, are going to be using this as an excuse to send out a deluge of text messages, a deluge of emails going, hey, we can, you know, you now need to get back up online with your application. Please click on this link to get back up online. And all kinds of bad things can happen there. The stealing of your data, the stealing of your credentials, the stealing of your personal information. Be incredibly vigilant about what you're seeing in your text messages, about what you're seeing in your email, and apply the same level of suspicion you would to someone turning up at your door at 8 o'clock on a Wednesday night in the pouring rain. Be suspicious.
So things are back up and running after that global outage yesterday evening. Graham Stewart there from Checkpoint. He's the head of Public Sector. Jonathan here, your LBC News headlines towards 1 next.
LBC News. Weather.
After a fairly chilly night, Thursday will start off bright.